Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in Raw.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever fine podcasts are. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and of course on the YouTube, that little notify bell so that you are reminded whenever there's new Going In Raw content. We're also available at the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Right now, we've got 40 people watching this live stream, getting dietary tips from Larson, listening to me talk about would I or would I not Too Sweet Jeff Jarrett. Also at the $5 monthly mark, you get our weekly Patreon exclusive series, non-news.
Non-news.
It's news that doesn't really matter. This week, Jeff Jarrett explains.
Well, I mean, every week we got to have a Jeff Jarrett story.
Every week there's a Jeff Jarrett story. This week he explains the rebranding of TNA to GFW.
That should be an interesting, riveting.
You can only hear about that
conversation.
Non-news because here's the thing: for free here on the YouTube or in the iOS podcast or the podcast apps out there, we give the important news, the actual news. Larson, anybody who has an internet connection can get that.
But
we're not charging
for the
that.
fine people who give us money via Patreon.
We're giving them the shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what we're giving
Okay.
them. We're also available at ProWrestlingTees.com/Going In Raw.
There's a huge sale going on.
There's a big
What is
summer
this?
sale happening right now. Look at these. This shirt right here. ProWrestlingTees.com.
You can get this one too, but it's not in our store.
Going In Raw. All these shirts are from the Pro Wrestling Tees Going In Raw merchandise.
Did you leave this in your washing machine for a while?
Probably. Merchandise store. And there's a massive summer sale happening right now. I believe it's going until
The 10th.
The 10th. That's right. It's happening right now.
So through the
though.
weekend.
Yeah. So you guys can check that out. The link is also on our Twitter at Real Going In Raw.
Yes.
But we're not here to talk about all that, Larson. What are we here to talk about?
205 Live.
That's right.
And NXT.
We had a takeover level match on NXT.
It's 2 weeks in a row we've had a takeover level main
Yes,
event.
I full disclosure, I have not seen the Asuka match yet because after the 4th of July, so yesterday I had to watch WrestleMania 25 because we're recording our pay-per-view review for that today, and 205 Live and NXT, and the thing that I did not get to see was last week's NXT.
Yeah. I watched it when we were in LA.
Yeah, I probably should have done that.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, this week, man, what a spectacular match. But we'll get to that in a bit. First, we're going to talk about 205 Live. It opened up with Titus O'Neil on the phone with Akira Tozawa.
Walking
backstage through the halls of 205 Live.
of
Sorry, my cord's everywhere.
the arena in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
He runs into Daivari, compliments him on his shirt.
His nice shirt.
Also, he runs into Mustafa Ali, speaks highly of him as well.
Said one day they're gonna be calling you Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Because he stings like a bee and floats like a butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other way around. I know.
Yeah, other way around.
But anyways, it was a very energetic way of, if anybody can kick off a show with high energy, simply walking through a hallway, it's going to be the leader of Titus Worldwide.
Yes. And I'm happy that they started the show that way as opposed to, say, an interview. Because so often they start...
That is such a bugaboo of yours.
205 Live with an interview. I know they do it because they're getting the ring ready for the show.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's not a good way to start a show.
No, it really
with a stand-up
isn't.
interview. Doing something like this with Titus, walking through the backstage area, talking on the phone, talking to other wrestlers. Quality stuff.
Once again, it illustrates and this is the lone time I'm going to talk about this, because the crowd was actually pretty good tonight.
Especially by the main event, yeah.
The crowd was good tonight. They were into it, but it does illustrate when you have to program your show because of the show that just aired before it. Like, if you have to program around that and find creative ways to start your show, the beginning of the show brings people in. It's supposed to, soak them in so they sit there and get involved in your show. And when you have to dance around the fact that, the
They're
ring
getting
crew is
the ring
in
ready
there,
for 205 Live.
and what exactly does that entail? Making the ropes purple?
But they didn't do that last night. They were still red, white, and blue.
Oh, maybe they're cleaning up.
They have to
I'm
change,
sure. Oh,
they
yeah.
have to change the ring canvas.
Yeah. That's right. So, I don't know. Anyways, once again, another reason why they need a different production approach to this. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. It started off with Titus O'Neil in the ring delivering a promo.
Yeah, he had like a podium set up.
Oh, that's right. And he had
With-
two big foam board pictures of
Neville and Akira Tozawa in opposite corners.
Yeah,
And he
pre-show match for Great Balls of Fire.
And Titus Worldwide, has some new branding. They have a logo.
It's a Titus flexing.
Yeah, it's great. Literally, when I watched this, I went to WWE Shop to see if they had that shirt available yet.
It always takes like a month for that shit to get
At
up.
least. They still haven't done the Monday Night Revival shirts.
Are you going to put that Larson Lee break shirt up?
Yeah, I can do that today.
Nice. Because I was looking for the logo. I was going to do it myself, but I can't find it.
I have it. I'm going to put on a green shirt.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Like a forest green?
Yeah, dark green.
Nice. I like it. I might actually get it.
So anyways, Titus is talking up the match, which will be on the pre-show.
He's a great
Balls
salesman.
of Fire. Yes, he is.
He's really great.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's a great salesman. Neville comes out. He interrupts Titus O'Neil, and he's fantastic. And he's basically just saying, you're shooting off at the mouth. You're getting Akira's hopes and dreams up, and he's destined to fail. He says, look what happens to people in Titus Worldwide who are signed to the Titus brand. He said, look at Apollo Crews. They showed a replay of Apollo Crews getting destroyed by Braun Strowman. And I love that main event. I love that they replayed Titus getting in there. And if anything was evidence of why you should sign with Titus brand, it's that. He got Apollo Crews the opportunity he's never had before, a main event slot on Raw against a main event player, Braun Strowman. And when Braun Strowman was laying it on Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil stepped in there and took one for the team.
Exactly.
I can't think of a better management company to sign with in the world of professional wrestling than Titus Worldwide.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyways, but Neville's running him down. He's saying essentially, I'm going to win at Great Balls of Fire. You're not going to win. He says, just pay attention to what happens now to Lince Dorado.
So that match happened. Titus joined Vic Joseph and Corey Graves on commentary.
Yeah.
Good match. The last two Neville matches, I think, kind of followed the same kind of pattern where Neville's opponent will do a whole lot of high-risk, high-flying moves.
Yeah.
And then eventually Neville will turn the tide and just overpower his opponents.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the story they've been doing the last 2 weeks. And this match ended with Neville powerbombing Lince Dorado and then following that right up with Rings of Saturn. Lince had to tap.
Again, I mentioned this on the Raw recap show, the Super Show, which is our last Super Show for now. It's funny because I was looking at the comments. One of the top comments is, man, I love these Super Shows. You fit it all into one episode. Yeah, but they don't do, in terms of revenue, it's a terrible idea.
Oh, yeah. It's better to do two shows that do those numbers as opposed to one.
Get double the money. I like our singular recaps. Anyways, I mentioned this on the Raw / SmackDown recap that I love this booking of Neville as a heel. They keep him strong against people they need to keep him strong against, and every once in a while he comes up against somebody who has his number. Akira Tozawa.
He only cheats in desperate times.
Exactly. Otherwise, like with Lince Dorado, is able to legitimately destroy him. Mustafa Ali, same thing on Raw.
Yeah.
It keeps your heel legitimate, credible. You understand why he has the title.
Yep.
If you're always cowardly, like there's just you understand. It was back like when Seth Rollins had the title, and I think you and I both feel like they booked him too cowardly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like he could win against guys like chumps on the roster. But then whenever anybody...
any pay-per-view match, you needed help from J&J Security.
Exactly. And that it made you feel like this guy isn't qualified to have the belt. That's my problem with it. I don't know if it's a face or heel. I want to feel like they're qualified to have it. I think Brock Lesnar is a terrific heel because he plays it as if it's kind of real.
Yeah.
And it makes me like sick of him. But I understand that he's a good heel.
Yeah.
But he's the most qualified person to have the belt.
Yeah.
Because they book him super strong.
Yeah.
So anyways, I like Neville. That's my point of that.
Yeah, Neville's great.
Then we got a segment. I like this. So there were a lot of questions we had about where TJP would be going after the Neville thing, who would he be facing.
Yeah.
And I like this, slow burn back and forth with Rich Swann
I
that he
do
has
too.
going.
And I like that the last few weeks, I guess, TJ Perkins has had some internal struggle as far as to be, as Swan likes to put it, TJP, his heel persona, or TJ Perkins.
Yeah.
The guy who won the Cruiserweight Classic.
And
not only is he embodying that in terms of his performance, but also in terms of his ring gear, because last night is the first time in a while he wore the same ring gear he wore during the Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so him and Rich Swann have a conversation backstage, sort of about it. Rich Swann said, "Hey, why'd you book this match with us?" And he said, "I just felt this would be some friendly competition." He says, "You couldn't beat me during the Cruiserweight Classic. And, you give me all this guff about TJP versus TJ Perkins." And the great thing about it was that, and you guys probably firmly remember this, I was not on board with TJ Perkins because I felt that he was a black hole of charisma. And my suggestion was turn him heel, have him be naturalistic, And that's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's playing these backstage segments naturally.
Yeah.
There's no quips. There's no snarkiness. There's none of that. It's this guy actually comes off as much as you can in the pro wrestling realm as if he's got some inner conflict.
Yes.
He's trying to figure out who he is.
Yes.
And I like it. I'm
Yeah,
into
me too.
it. I think
I
it's
really
great.
like it. I
Yeah,
really
it's
like
really
it.
good. And they ended up having a great match. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
That was the main event. Next up we had Tony Nese versus Jack Gallagher. Are you still not down with the
The what?
his Gallagher's finisher, his drop kick, his running drop kick? Still not down with that?
No.
This week, it looked particularly brutal, man. He ran right into it.
Okay, I still prefer the headbutt for a finisher.
Yeah, I mean, not anymore though, because Shibata, you can't do that.
Well, I mean,
No more headbutts, dude.
Gallagher doesn't actually headbutt somebody.
It's not good.
It's a huge difference. But I like when he headbutts somebody and then stumbles into a pinfall attempt.
I thought
I think that's a good way to end the match, I think.
I don't like when anybody has to stumble into their finish. I was joking right there. I don't know. I looked at his running drop kick into the corner. It looked a bit more vicious this week. I was hoping maybe you would see that. No,
Still not
unimpressed.
into it. Still not
I
into
don't know
it.
if you were paying attention. Yeah. So he ended up picking up the win with that drop kick.
Yeah.
And then what do you think about this Brian Kendrick? If it was anybody that wasn't Brian Kendrick, this would probably be terrible. But
It still wasn't good.
because it was Brian Kendrick, and he's a bit on the weird side,
Yeah, but it still wasn't good.
it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
But I love Brian Kendrick.
I do too,
Yeah,
but it wasn't good.
it wasn't. And, it's funny, man. Like after going to the G1 special, and we've been getting this a lot on our Twitter from people who also watched. It's difficult to sit through this kind of stuff, this specific kind of stuff. Like the main event is fantastic.
Yeah, really
the main
good.
event at NXT,
Really good.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
really good. I'm totally fine sitting through that stuff. Real match still storytelling. But this stuff that the WWE does, this stuff that they have, 28 riders on deck.
And this is what they come up with.
And this is what they come up with. Brian Kendrick, for those who didn't see and are actually watching this for the recap aspect of things, Brian Kendrick showed up on the Titantron with dressed up as like a founding father, I think.
Kind of.
He was supposed to be like an old school American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was saying he was running down a history of
It was
not
called
so Great Britain.
the segment was called A History of Britain,
Yeah.
but it said Great Britain.
And they crossed the Great out.
Yeah.
And so he was equating the failures of Great Britain
During the Revolutionary War.
During the Revolutionary War, thank you.
to Jack Gallagher's own failings as a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
In the cruiserweight division in WWE.
They everything that Kendrick and Akira Tozawa did was great, and they're not doing this great. Even when he was dressing up like Jack Gallagher last week, while mildly amusing,
It wasn't good.
was not good. But on the other hand, it's Brian Kendrick, so I give him more leeway. because Brian Kendrick himself just adds a surreal quality to things.
Oh, I know, or at least the possibility of a surreal quality.
Yeah,
to things.
exactly. So
far, it hasn't necessarily manifested itself in these last 2 segments, but we'll
not,
see where it goes.
Not as far as anything entertaining.
No.
So that, and Jack Gallagher did his best to kind of sell it.
He looked more confused than annoyed.
He did. He was like, "Wait, are you supposed to be an old timey?"
Like, how did this segment make air?
Yeah, he's like, "This is what they're coming up with." He didn't even know that was happening. Next up, we had Noam Dar in the locker room with a trainer who was giving him some ice for his neck.
Well, he was checking his neck after, I'm assuming, taking another lumbar check from Cedric Alexander on Raw.
Right.
And Alicia Fox comes in, and Noam Dar says, "All right, that's it. We're done. Time to move on."
Well, no, she says, he's like, he said, I have a newfound perspective. I'm going to be going after that
Cruiserweight
championship. I'm going to let Akira Tozawa and Neville tear themselves up, and then I'm going to slide in there, and I'm going to take it. That was a terrible Noam Dar. And I'm going to take that Cruiserweight title. And she said, "What about Cedric Alexander?" And he's like, "What about him? That's long in our past."
Yeah.
So,
and then she said no, that as long as Cedric is on 205 Live.
Yeah, she wants him to leave 205 Live. We kind of do too.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him on SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know if they're going to spoon feed us more Cedric versus Noam Dar, at least they're kind of like self-aware about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Noam Dar thinks that
it's too much.
It's been too much. But Alicia Fox, who is too much, wants more of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to take any tact with it, that's a decent one to take, I guess.
Maybe they'll do a match where it's a loser leaves NXT match and Cedric can go on to Raw or SmackDown. That'd be awesome.
Loser leaves 205 Live match.
Is that what I said?
You said NXT.
Sorry.
Okay.
205 Live.
What did you call that belt? That was still my favorite flub.
Oh, the never overweight.
The never overweight
6-man titles or something like that.
Yeah, they have to measure your body fat beforehand. All right, so that led to our main event, which was TJ Perkins versus Rich Swann. Hell of a match, man.
Yeah.
This is one of those matches that the people were kind of into it. At one point during Neville's thing, they started saying, "You're not Strowman." Because he was kind of equating, what Strowman did to Apollo to what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And the crowd started chanting, "You're not Strowman." So from early on, they were into this. And that's good, man. You got to give it up to the Phoenix crowd, I think, right?
Yes.
So props to them.
Yes. who are skipping out on 4th of July festivities.
You're a hardcore fan, man. You're a hardcore fan.
Did they have any pyro to start 205 Live? No.
Oh, I don't know.
They haven't done pyro to start that show in a while. At least give the fans on the 4th of July some in-arena pyro.
I know. What the heck?
Anyways, yeah, good match. There was a moment where...
Why is everybody talking about pyro these days? There's a lot
because there's not as much of it.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Maybe because it's probably expensive.
And I hate it. I'm not a fan of pyro.
I don't mind it when it starts the show.
Have they not been started? Have they started? They started Raw with pyro, didn't they?
They could have, but 205 Live hasn't had pyro to start in a while.
Yeah, I don't really care about that. Look,
and
man, it's starting out in the freaking hallway,
and they usually don't have pyro to start SmackDown. I don't think. So maybe that's just the deal. It's like that day of taping, they don't bother with pyro at all.
Yeah,
anyways,
I don't really care. They need to start changing their pay-per-view sets too. I want to see 2 giant balls of like fake fire.
Okay,
for Great Balls.
Oh yeah.
Like I wanted them to go extra phallic with it.
Why not just actually have 2 giant spheres lit on fire for the entire 3 hours?
Actual fire.
Yeah,
like massive.
Actually shoot actual fireballs.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Anyway,
as long as there's some sort of phallic element to it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
This match did a pretty good job of pushing TJP's story ahead because there's a moment in the match where they're going back and forth, really fast paced, good wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Swann pushes Perkins, and Perkins kind of, he's upset by it, and he kind of goes back to being TJP for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Match goes on. He finally, he kind of gets out of that. There's a lot of back and forth with him between, do I be mean TJ Perkins or do I be TJ Perkins?
Yeah.
And it's good. He's doing a really good job of with his performance.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is.
The match ended with a pretty cool sequence where they were...
This was cool. You don't see this very often.
No, trying roll-up and pinning combinations on each other, and they kept on reversing it until Swan hit one, got the 3 count.
Yeah.
But Perkins acted as if he was totally surprised by it and went for another hold afterwards.
Yeah. But the ref said, nope, that's it. He got the 3 count. So you rarely see when there's a kick out at 2 9/10.
Yeah.
You rarely see that actually lead to a 3 count. It's usually just close. But this actually led to a 3 count. So it was good. Some decent booking there.
And after the match, Perkins was disappointed, but he didn't take out any of his frustrations on Swan.
Yet.
That's
going to happen, though.
Yeah,
and I like
expect
that.
that as well.
Great. I mean, look, man, we both kind of wondered also what was going to happen to Rich Swann. They're coming up with creative ways to book feuds without that title involved.
And also, they're taking their time with the feuds.
They're taking their time.
They're not rushing things.
And they're character-centric feuds.
Yes.
That's what's good about them. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
All right, moving on to
NXT.
The roar of the crowd. What's the song now? Resistance.
Yeah, something like that.
Resistance. Hell of an episode today. Kicked off with a tag match between Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami, taking on the Sanity duo of Killian Dane, a.k.a. Big Damo,
Yeah.
and Alexander Wolf.
Who moshed before the match started.
I know, it's great.
It's fantastic.
I love when he moshes.
And this match primarily was here to further the tension between Ohno and Itami.
Yeah.
There was this moment where Cassius Ohno was distracted by Alexander Wolf on the outside. Hideo went to their corner to make a tag, but Ohno wasn't there.
Yeah.
And after that, Itami said, all right, well, I'm just going to wrestle the rest of this match myself.
They're not a very good tag team.
No.
They're just not a good tag team.
No. So the finish saw Hideo hit a GTS on Wolf, but Wolf had made a tag to Dane while he was on Hideo's shoulders.
Yeah.
So after Itami hits the GTS, Dane comes in, hits a running splash, a fun splash, if you will, and got the win.
Yeah, those damn fun splashes.
They come out of nowhere.
They really do. They're hard to hit the reversal on.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so...
do you think this feud goes all the way till TakeOver?
This is going to be a good match.
Oh, yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
TakeOver
absolutely.
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's at SummerSlam. It's a month away.
It's a month and a half away.
Month and a half away. Yeah, that'd be good. Let's see here. Then we had, man... You know what's funny is that... So I'm going to make a basis of comparison here. Ember Moon, they had a media session with her.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing everything wrong with Ember Moon. It's cheese, but I know what they're going for, and I think there's another wrestler who they've gotten exactly right over the past 6 weeks in the same ilk as Ember Moon, and his name is Roderick Strong. The Roderick Strong versus Bobby Roode match, we'll talk about in depth in a little bit,
Yeah.
was exactly how Ember Moon should be booked. I'm sorry, is exactly how that first Asuka Ember Moon match should have been booked. Because like all the little things they're doing with Ember Moon, none of it plays off as convincing to me. Whereas Roderick Strong, like him or not, the story we're getting with him, it's a very convincing. It's convincing me that's who he is.
Yeah.
Ember Moon sounds like she's reading scripts, whereas Roderick Strong, he doesn't have the most natural charisma in the world, but man, he's heartfelt
And he's relatable.
And I feel like that's what they need with Ember Moon, but doing a thing where 3 obviously silly hands with microphones are sticking out at her like it's a big press session.
I kind of feel like there's a lack of consistency in how they want to portray Ember's character.
Yeah.
They want to make her relatable.
Yeah.
Seems to be the thing, but they don't exactly know how to do it, so they just try different things, and there's no consistency in their approach.
Because here's my thing about it, is I think Ember Moon is a license to print money.
Yes.
I think her in-ring work is great. Her
Yeah.
finisher is fantastic. She looks like $1 million.
Yes.
It's just they keep trying to... I just think that they keep trying to do this stuff that really feels simple, but it always ends up being hokey.
Yeah.
Like... every time I think about that in that empty arena segment with the Charlie Brown music, it's just it bugs the crowd. Like I just feel like she's walking around with her head down,
Yeah.
with sad music playing. It's so and then like doing things, and then Ruby Riott comes down, and she talks some crap to Ember Moon, and Ember Moon had a good line at the end. She said, "If anybody wants to step on my warpath, to the title, they're welcome to. So it sounds like we might get Ember Moon versus Ruby Riott for a number one contender match, or for a number one contendership match coming up.
And then Asuka has been on vacation, it looks like, saying, I'll come back to NXT whenever there's a worthy opponent in place to challenge me.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Ruby Riott got sort of eliminated first and that Asuka, I mean, that sort of, to me, okay, she needs to step aside for a bit, but I'm totally down to get like a number one contendership match with them. It's just she doesn't really have a good case to make.
Yeah, her claim isn't as strong. Ember Moon has
exactly.
the
At least she
strongest
got
claim.
injured, yeah.
I know.
So yeah, I don't know. I get the feeling that they know they have something good on their hands. They just can't quite figure out
Well, I think
how to make the most of it.
I think it's just a lack of consistency.
Yeah. Next up, we had an interview with Drew McIntyre in a very nice business casual shirt.
Yeah, he wants that NXT title.
Yes, he does.
That was kind of the point of this.
Yeah. He said
regardless of who wins, match tonight.
All roads point to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Then we had another interview with the iconic duo, Peyton Royce and Billy Kay.
Yes.
And again,
I was doing something else during the first half of this, and what Peyton Royce was talking about cake, right?
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I think I was half confused by sometimes their accents are a little too much for me. That's what they're talking about. Billy Kay was talking about cake at the end, and I was like, that's really funny, but I have no idea what they're talking about right now. So they went off to get their cake. I don't even know what that interview was about. And then meanwhile, and I was kind of half paying attention to the background because you see Andrade Cien Almas, back there with Thea Trinidad.
They're arguing.
And they're arguing. And the interview lady says, what was it? She goes back there and she's like, why is there a domestic dispute happening over here? And Thea Trinidad had run off, and he called her loca in Spanish, which of course means crazy. So that's interesting. We had another interview. It's like a friggin' episode of WGPW.
Well, there was I know, a lot of words.
Yeah, these are all pretty quick though.
Yeah,
because
like
they
literally
gave a lot of time that main event.
Yeah, Roderick Strong's interview consisted of a one-word answer: victory.
Yeah, they asked. Yeah, exactly. And then they did an interview with Bobby Roode, and he said Roderick Strong is crap or something like that. I don't know.
In between these
there.
interviews that precede the main event, they had a video package that recapped the
Yeah.
Bobby Roode Roderick Strong storyline to date.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, I guess there are only like 2 actual matches here. But that main event was like half the show.
Yeah, it was about 20-some minutes.
It was a really long match. Yeah. So that led to our main event: Roderick Strong versus Bobby Roode. This is the perfect booking for Roderick Strong.
Yes,
and Bobby Roode for that matter, because it kept the consistency of Bobby Roode's tactics. What'd you call him, a tactician?
Yeah, he's very tactical.
I called him an opportunist, but I like your phrasing better.
So I guess in my mind, opportunistic. I don't want to.
He takes advantage of situations.
Yeah, but it's not a situation where he'll run away from a fight per se.
Right? No, absolutely. Yeah, it's not
like he's not an opportunistic heel in the sense that he picks his spots. Mm-hmm. It's like he
just knows when to pounce.
Yeah,
he waits for the other guy to make the mistake, and in this case,
and he has a strategy to make that happen.
In this case, now Roderick Strong was booked. I mean, forgive the pun. He was booked very, very strong here.
Yeah,
very strong.
Yeah,
and that's how you need to book him because he. Like I said earlier, and this isn't a knock on him, it's just some guys just don't have the natural charisma that Aleister Black can literally say nothing and it's like you're mesmerized by his face. Mm-hmm. Roderick Strong is not that, and so you need something to hold on to.
Yeah,
and for him, it's his resiliency, it's his in-ring work, it's his toughness, his grit.
It's also his kind of everyman character.
Yeah, but that only goes so far until you see
I know.
This guy can wrestle with the best of them.
Yeah.
And you need that. You need to understand this guy can win against anybody. Do you agree with me? This was the strongest match anybody has had against Bobby Roode. This was stronger than his Shinsuke matches.
Yeah.
Like in terms of
actual in-ring wrestling, yeah.
In terms of in-ring wrestling, but also the other guy looking strong against him.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong kicked out of a glorious DDT.
I know.
That was crazy.
That was cool.
That was fantastic.
And what I like about Bobby Roode matches is each one so far, his major title matches, have all told a different story.
Yeah.
He has a different strategy to counter each of his opponents. Granted, I know he worked Nakamura's leg, but that was only after he hurt himself.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby went after Strong's leg pretty early in the match.
Well, so Strong ended up they started brawling on the outside. Strong ended up falling through the crack between the ring step and the
post, the ring
post. Yeah, the ring post. Sorry, and so his leg went down there, and Bobby Roode pounced.
Yeah,
he
kicked
slammed.
he
kicked the ring steps. And then for the rest of the match, that's where he focuses attention. It's like, okay, let's see let's feel him out. Let me survive until I can feel out what his weakness is, and then I'll focus on that like a laser. And that's what he did.
Yep. That's been the one consistency of all of Bobby Roode's matches.
And I love those stories because it's like, okay, what is he going to do now? What is he going to find now to beat his opponent?
Yep.
This, like we said, this match was really long. It was never short on action.
Yeah, it was fast paced, a lot of action.
Always stuff happening. There was always a story being told.
You had Roode working Strong's leg, Roderick working Bobby Roode's back with a bevy of backbreakers.
Yeah.
Great match. So you mentioned Bobby Roode hits the glorious DDT. Strong kicks out. More back and forth. Roderick hits his backbreaker finisher. I don't know if there's what the name of it is. Gets the 3 count, but the ref calls off the pin because Bobby, at 2, slides his foot under the rope. So while Roderick is kind of celebrating, also trying to ascertain what's going on, Bobby Roode, taking the opportunity, pounces, knocks Strong off the apron.
Yeah.
They fight a little bit, and then he gives him a DDT right in front of his family on the outside of the ring.
Oh, yeah, it was great. Gets him back in there. Roderick Strong comes to, tries to attack him with a flying knee, and then has to hold off a second.
No, that happened earlier.
Oh, that happened earlier.
That happened earlier. That preceded
Drake
the
Younger,
first.
what are you doing? Referee, what are you doing? You're terrible. If you count number one. If you count 3 and then see that his leg was there, how many times did that actually happen? I know I'm straying into the logic of wrestling.
Well, it's happened a few times.
And they've rang the bell, hit the music, and they waved it off. Name one.
Nothing comes to mind, but it's happened before.
It's happened before, but how often does it actually
Not
happen?
very.
And how many times have we seen something like that happen where they do allow the victory and they start telling the guy who lost, I didn't see it. I'm sorry, I didn't see it at the time.
Well, generally it's because
it just didn't. See that.
It's generally because they don't see it at all.
I know.
Whereas Drake,
they don't see it. Once you hit the 3, that match is supposed to be done. That's supposed to be done.
Well,
I was fine with it because of the storytelling aspects.
Yeah.
But then he's in the way. He's in the clear path of Roderick Strong trying to attack. I'm just saying, storyline wise, that ref was terrible.
Well, it is developmental for everybody.
Exactly. Thank you.
Anyways,
Thank you for biting on it.
Anyways, after Bobby. Oh, the spot you mentioned happened before the first glorious DDT.
Okay, all right.
So Bobby Roode gets Strong back in the ring, hits another glorious DDT.
Yes.
Picks up the win.
Yeah. And it's great because the crowd was stunned.
I know.
that was the great thing, is because they kick in Roderick Strong's music when he got the 3 count. Roderick Strong goes out there and like you said, hugs his family. They played it like it was over, but then you see the ref the entire time. And I mean, knowing how many matches we've seen, we knew that their placement of the 3 count was so Bobby Roode can get his leg, and he made sure to put his leg it was basically draping over the.
Oh, I know.
So no, it was a really, really good, I would say, and it was they're celebrating, I guess, the 400th episode of NXT.
But yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row we've gotten a takeover quality main event.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you think of weeks 1 and 2 of the return of Mauro Ranallo?
I think he's been good.
I give him an A so far.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of Tom Phillips, but he's really letting Nigel. He's giving Nigel a lot of space.
Yeah, there's been a number of times where he did, when it was him and Lawler on SmackDown, he would ask questions.
Yeah. And Nigel, he's also given a lot of the recapping to Nigel, which I really like. I still wish. I understand sort of I don't know. I kind of do and I kind of don't. I understand that there's a tradition of heel commentators. Nigel just shouldn't be that. It's just, I don't think it suits him.
Yeah.
I don't think it suits him. All the good things about Nigel, and it's a 90-10 split. The good is 90%.
Oh yeah, I mean his the way he analyzes the matches and the stories being told is great.
It's great.
Yeah.
When he rips on Percy here and there, it just feels out of place. If you want to play devil's advocate to the heels, then that's total. That's fine. But it's so awkward when he goes after Percy. It's so superfluous.
Yeah, I know.
Shouldn't be there.
No, I know.
Because Percy's just sort of there. Like, he's good and everything. He adds, a bit of flair to it.
Yeah.
But,
Anyways, want to answer some questions?
I think we should probably answer some
All right,
questions.
Hamza Halal, which weekend did you guys enjoy better and why? WrestleMania or G1?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know.
I would say of all the wrestling events I went to, I would probably say G1 into, probably night 2 and then night 1 would be at the very top of the list of events we went to.
And then NXT TakeOver Orlando would be a really close third.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I would even say Progress is a close fourth, But something about having a packed schedule. We did that great panel.
Yeah.
I would probably say WrestleMania.
We went to WCPW.
We got to re-experience being roommates again. So yeah, probably Mania, but like there, it's not because there was anything negative about the G1 weekend.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
Yeah, it was. Dom the Man Hilberg.
The
man. What are the odds that NXT realizes that Nikki Cross needs to be the one to take the belt off Asuka? If they thought that was the case, she might have it right now.
Yeah, I think
she's had plenty of opportunity.
I think they've had opportunities to realize that. So I'm going to say the odds are none. Man, I really hope she never loses it. They have such a special thing. You've gone this far. Why would you? Why? In NXT, they break traditions all the time.
I know.
They could get away with it.
I mean, they're setting it up a scenario where she's like, "Okay, I've beaten everybody.
Yeah,
here,
give
me something else to do."
Crowd's gonna go massive when she goes to the main. They're gonna go huge, and they're gonna be sitting here 3 months later. They're really bungling Asuka. 3 weeks in a row, 3 losses in a row.
I know.
And they've got her in some goofy skit.
I know.
Asuka's going to get a boyfriend.
Fat
triangle with Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode.
Fat bastard champ Alex Foster.
Fat
Alex Foster. Which NXT superstar should get their own merch? He feels like, with the exception of champions, almost nobody has any shirts.
Is there anybody out there?
Authors of Pain has merch. Almas has a shirt.
It's not very good, though.
No, I know, but he has a shirt.
He's got a shirt.
Do
they have a Cassius Ohno one yet?
I don't think so.
You can always go to his Pro Wrestling Tee store.
Yeah. Hitami used to have a shirt. I don't know if they've put a new one up yet.
I'd like a Big Damo shirt. That'd be cool. Just like a big, like this, but Big Damo.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a few NXT stars have shirts. Like Aleister Black has a shirt.
Is that Iconic shirt up yet? The
I don't think
Iconic
so.
Duo shirt? Why is that not up yet?
I know.
Can we get I know this is an NXT, but I want Rhino's I'm with Heath shirt.
Yes, that's good. He just went to some
I know.
customization place and made that himself.
Oh, I love it.
It's great.
That's great. Here we go. Opportunity for power rankings, Larson. I know you love power rankings.
I do.
How would you guys power rank the top 5 contenders for the NXT title? Your opinion.
Drew is number 1.
Drew's definitely number 1. We're on the same page there.
Number 2. I'm going to put Aleister at 4 for now.
Whoa!
He will rise.
Whoa!
But he's at 4 for now.
All right. Who's at number 2?
I'll put Ono at 5.
Really?
Yeah. I'd put Roderick Strong at number 2.
Still?
Yeah. I could see a rematch happening after that match, definitely.
Hasn't something been announced for TakeOver?
No.
A rumor for TakeOver?
Adam Cole, number 3.
Adam Cole, number 3. Get out of here. Adam Cole. But when is he going to show? Isn't it weird? Like this is the first time I can really think of. Maybe not. Maybe it's just because we're so tuned in these days. But usually there isn't that big of a gulf, I feel, between them being a big name somewhere and then them showing up at a TakeOver in the audience at least. I just feel like Adam Cole. I don't know where he is. Like what I know
He's been doing some indie dates.
Yeah, no, I know, but nothing like that has a high profile. Nothing
Maybe
on
that's-
TV.
Maybe that's intentional.
No, I think it is. I
Yeah.
absolutely think it is. I think that's the whole Ring of Honor. Maybe Ring of Honor has a no compete clause. I don't know what the deal with that is.
I don't either.
Because I understood it's like they got upset with the WWE poaching their talent. Maybe it was like them approaching them before their contract was actually expired.
It could be a tampering situation.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't feel like Bobby Fish has been without a contract for that long.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
He's kind of an exception.
But I felt like his contract expired after Kyle O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was the case.
Kyle O'Reilly. That's another. Yeah, that's another.
That's been since January.
Yeah, that's been a while.
So who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that some more in Dirt Sheet, though, today when we
Okay.
record it.
All right. Wait, but we still need like a number 3, don't we? You said Adam Cole
I said
number
Adam
2.
Cole.
You're
No, I said Adam Cole number 2.
like the
or 3,
wonky-
sorry.
These are the wonkiest power
I said
rankings.
Drew number 1,
Drew number 1.
Roderick Strong number 2,
Okay.
3, Adam Cole, baby. 4,
Oh, you
Alistair.
still say Roderick Strong is number 2.
Yeah.
Man, you're so out of whack on this.
No, man.
It's Drew. Here's the definitive power
Roderick
rankings,
Strong has
Larson.
a legitimate claim for a rematch.
No, he doesn't. He lost clean. They don't do rematches in NXT. They move along. Move along.
They do tons of rematches in
Move
NXT.
along. Adam Cole's number 4. No, Adam Cole's number 5. Cassius Ohno's number 4. Look at Hideo Itami. He didn't get a rematch. Number 4 is Cassius Ohno. Mm-hmm. No. He already had a shot. Nah, he's off the list.
All right.
So we're stuck with Drew McIntyre number 1.
Yes.
That's definitive right here.
All right, if you say so.
Drew McIntyre number 1. Aleister Black number 2. Andrade Cien Almas number 3.
But he's a heel. They're going to have a heel versus heel.
No, it's okay.
Title match.
He'll
No,
turn
it's
face.
not.
He's a face in my heart. Number 3. You did your power ranking. They're crap. Everybody
they're
agreed.
good.
Everybody agreed. Adam Cole number 4 and Hanson number 5 from War Machine.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later. We will talk about that on Dirt Sheets.
Oh, what about Eric Young? EY? He's not even on your. He hasn't had a title shot.
Yeah, but he's also a heel. They're not going to do heel versus heel.
Well, it's a heel to you. I like squatters. I think they're
In
I think they're
storyline-
heroes of society.
In storyline, he's a heel.
The
Therefore, he's a
squatters
heel.
of society are the heroes of society. Larson, put that on a shirt.
All right.
20% off. All right, what was I talking about?
Terrence Thompson's Unapologetic. He had a rant on his podcast.
Oh, go check out Terrence Thompson, our friendo.
Yes.
Has a podcast called Unapologetic. I haven't listened. I don't know if he has the latest one out, but I told him he needs to intro his show. He takes the get to it idea to the extreme.
Oh, he just gets right into it?
He gets right. He's got like a 30-second long song that plays, and then he just starts talking. So I say song goes down to 15 seconds, maybe 10. Intro your heart out. That's one thing I've noticed about podcasts. I know we try to get to it on the quick, but man, so many podcasts out there. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He usually tells a story to start his podcast.
Yeah, which I like.
Completely unrelated to anything else he's going to talk about later on.
Exactly. But you also have to hear about Alpha Brain for a good, 10 minutes.
Yeah, he has his
before
ad
that.
reads, but also he gives, a little Stone Cold slice of life. Like when I was listening to the first episode with Bailey, he was talking about he and his wife going and trying to buy a couch.
I feel like he said, yeah, he always, it is like
Because it used to be just ranch stories when he had his
Yeah,
ranch still.
right,
But
right.
he sold the ranch. So
they're all great stories.
I
too.
know.
It's just
He can make the most mundane things sound
story
interesting.
time with Stone
Anyways,
Cold.
Terrence's question. He mentions on his podcast that 205 Live should be filmed before NXT in Full Sail. What are your thoughts? Yeah, it should be something like that.
I'm going to say
A more intimate environment with a more passionate crowd.
I'm going to say not that specifically.
Agreed.
Because then you might end up killing the Full Sail crowd for NXT.
Yeah.
Then NXT might suffer.
Oh, no, there shouldn't be one. I don't think they could do one block of tapings for.
Yeah, he's saying I mentioned that to him. It should be filmed before.
That's an 8-hour day. They're not going to make people in the audience stay there
so
for 8 hours.
I'm going to say,
I don't even think they should do it at Full Sail. They should do it in a similar size venue on a regular basis, but not the same place.
yeah, I would just if production wise is easier, then do it at Full Sail.
No, obviously.
But ideally, what you're saying is absolutely correct. Do it at the what's the place they do PWG,
Oh, the
VFW,
something like that.
the American Legion
American
Hall.
Legion Hall, yeah.
There you go.
Reseda, California.
Eddie Jose Guevara Menivar says, does Neville and Tozawa angle continue after Great Balls? Oh,
Yes.
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 Yeah. Neville's going to win this one probably by cheating.
Yes. Connor Dunmore, as NXT is such a huge part of WWE now, can you name 5 underwhelming former WWE stars who could have done with time in NXT back in the day? Good
Yes.
question.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Cassius Ohno.
Well, he never made it to the main
I know,
roster.
I'm joking. Let's see here. Yeah, Drew McIntyre for sure. Who came out? And was
Mr.
like-
Kennedy.
Yeah, I was gonna think that. I was thinking that too. But then, I mean, I'm not sure all the time in NXT in the world. I'm not sure if he would have been a safer worker.
Oh, maybe.
You think so? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, just reps. Reps
Yeah.
will help it out.
Yeah.
Here's how you do a basic move.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably right. Before you wrestle John Cena, maybe learn how to do a
Randy
backbreaker
Orton.
properly.
So those are good answers.
Those are good answers.
Trying to think of people who debuted with fanfare that never really lived up to.
Glacier.
Well, he was WCW.
That's true. Raven should have gone through NXT before he went to
That'd have
WWE.
been cool.
Yeah, I know.
That'd been real cool.
It's like Eric Young, dude.
I guess on the tip of my tongue, and I can't.
JT has a question.
Okay.
I asked this question to Solomonster a while back. Wonder what your guys' thoughts are. Should the winner of the Mae Young Classic be the one to take the belt from Asuka?
No.
No. I'm firmly on board with nobody taking the belt from Asuka. She vacates it.
Maybe she vacates it, and the winner of the Mae Young Classic faces Ember Moon or Ruby Riot.
Yeah, the number
to
one
determine
contender.
a
Yeah.
new.
I like that a lot.
NXT Women's Champion.
I like that a lot. That was a good question. Magnum TA champion Nathan Ragland. In the event that Vince retires or passes away and Triple H takes over the WWE, I would think Triple H and Stephanie. Who do you think would take over NXT, and how well do you think they will handle it compared to Triple H?
Regal.
Yeah, I would think Regal would actually be like the next man for that. I didn't realize before I read the Wrestling Observer and the Mauro Ranallo contract thing last week that Michael Cole was so heavily involved.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Jack Dolan, book a Survivor
Danger Dolan.
book a Survivor Series style match between NXT and 205 Live.
All right. So on 205 Live side, we have
Neville.
Are we gonna combine heels and faces? You think Neville's
Yeah.
gonna get along with his
Yeah.
his fellow members?
Interesting stories.
King of the 205 Live Survivor Series team.
Neville.
Neville, Cedric Alexander.
Yes.
Noam Dar. There's a story there between
Yes.
those two.
TJP.
TJP.
And
Tony Nese.
Okay.
He is the premier athlete.
He is.
Yeah.
And then for Team NXT, got to have Bobby Roode.
Look, dude, this is a dream team. Bobby Roode, Roderick Strong, Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black, and Cassius Ohno.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Give me that 5 any day of the week.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
Team NXT picks up the win, probably.
Easily. They did sweep. 5-0 sweep.
Watching that match.
Neville might take out a couple guys.
Watching the match, the Bobby Roode Roderick Strong match. Bobby Roode is so good.
Bobby Roode is so good.
He's amazing.
Man. He is so good.
He is amazing.
Man, that Roderick Strong. Gee willikers, he's good.
Mm-hmm. They're both really good.
Yeah. Bobby Roode's got it all, though.
Yeah, he does.
He has it all.
I
yeah.
don't know how long he's going to be in NXT.
And his finisher's a DDT. That's fantastic.
But he makes it awesome.
I know. It is, in fact, a glorious DDT.
It is.
Oh, man.
Okay, here's a good question. Thomas Jacob Van Giesen. Hey, friendos.
That's a great name.
It is. Who do you see as being the next NXT champion that isn't currently on the NXT roster? Adam Cole, baby.
War Machine. Yeah, I'd say Adam Cole, baby.
Liam Wagner says Sammy Callahan.
Oh, wow. What a
That would
good
be
answer.
interesting. That would be interesting.
No, they're going to put him with Sanity.
It's Adam Cole, baby.
It's definitely Adam Cole, baby.
A couple more.
Penultimate Tommy Wiseau. Could Aleister Black with his kickboxing be booked the same as Brock with his MMA background? Book the same. It's difficult to book the same as Brock because he's like super legitimate. He was UFC heavyweight champion. But in terms of, hey, this guy can legitimately kick your ass, I think he can. I mean, it was kind of interesting to see his match with Cassius Ohno when he actually had, competition.
Yeah.
They didn't book him quite as strong as I figured they would.
And he has a match coming up soon against a new arrival in NXT.
Oh yeah. That's kind of interesting.
I know.
We'll get to that once the episode airs.
Yes.
Let's see here. Wayne Lynch, the UK correspondent, Wayne Maker here. The Cruiserweight Classic led to 205 Live, the UK Championship, evidently leading to the UK show. Do you think the Mae Young tournament will lead to a female-only show? That's what the rumor is.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably see how well it goes over and then decide from there.
Yeah.
But they need to get that UK show going. We're
I
already
know.
in July, and we haven't
I
heard
know.
anything about it.
The creator, Melvin Adams Jr.,
The creator.
we'll end on this one. Hey, friendos, it seems to me like NXT Brooklyn is their version of WrestleMania. So how would you book their upcoming Brooklyn event, and who are some surprise signees you would have there? Adam Cole, baby!
Adam Cole needs to be in that crowd, man.
Yeah, he will be.
It's been long
will
enough.
be.
We said that about the last one.
I thought it was a little more of a 50-50, but he'll be there this time.
Yeah.
If he's going to sign, he'll be here. He'll be there then. Main event, NXT Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Roode versus...
Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think so.
Does Drew take that title off of Bobby Roode?
I'm not so sure now.
Yeah, man. They book Bobby so strong.
I know.
He's so smart.
I know.
I say keep it on Bobby, and then at their rematch, Survivor Series.
No, I say Survivor Series, Aleister Black takes the belt off him.
Really?
Yeah.
Drew just doesn't get the
Not right now, at least.
title for that's his entire line of thought.
I know.
He needs to stop spouting that off, but he's not going to win.
Well, he's got to have goals. He can't just say I just came to NXT because I was tired of traveling all over the world to wrestle.
Impact was going to make me a deal, but then I realized I
how
have to
about
work with
this?
Jeff Jarrett.
If rumors are true, Authors of Pain versus War Machine.
That'd be great.
That would be awesome.
Could they sign them in time? They have like a year-long window.
know.
They need to not
Well,
sign
I mean,
people.
and also
apparently.
War Machine has to lose the IWGP tag titles.
Title for title.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Oh, here we go. This is the last one. Here's the last one.
Okay.
That last one there. Iron Man Marcus Tyler.
Yeah.
Without
I was
breaking
going to save that
kayfabe.
for Dirt Sheet.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's a dirt sheet question. That's a good question, Marcus Tyler.
It is.
All right. Well, that's it then. That's our show. Right?
Assuming Asuka still has the women's title, who should she face?
Oh, you're still booking Brooklyn.
I just wanted to
Okay, no, that's cool.
book the titles at least. Who
Assuming
does Asuka face at NXT Brooklyn?
I mean, I feel like right now Ember Moon, they need to just see if it's going to work or not. I don't want it. I don't. Do this. Have the match, and then have Triple H make the call mid-match who wins the title.
Okay.
That's what they should do.
All right.
I don't know, man. Ember Moon needs to show more. I don't know. I feel like the crowd isn't. I don't know if any. I think her injury really did her a disservice.
Yeah.
Like the weird way here. Okay, no, it's a couple things. The weird way they went about her finish move being so dangerous. Like they made it feel like a shoot when Billie Kay got injured from it.
Yeah.
They had only referenced it verbally, talking about, oh yeah, there was issues within the performance center.
No, they said she sent people to the hospital after she was practicing it in the Performance Center. That sounds like a move that should be banned then.
Show, don't tell.
Yes.
I need to see that. I don't want to just hear it from whoever was saying it.
Yeah.
So I feel like they botched that. I feel like there's not enough reason for her to take the title off of Asuka.
Yeah, I know.
So Ember Moon versus Asuka. Asuka wins and then moves along to the main
She just
roster.
leaves the belt in the middle of the ring after the match, signifying.
Maybe she gets on the. I love when Asuka screams at people.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool.
She screams and says, "There's nothing more I can do here. I'm promoting myself to the main."
She shows up.
She's calling herself up.
She shows up at SummerSlam and interferes in both women's matches.
That would be great if she calls herself up. She's not waiting for anybody.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be great.
that would be cool.
Or what if she takes the NXT title and defends it on the main roster? Kevin Owens didn't really do that, but he took the NXT
belt.
title.
He took the
Yeah.
belt with him, yeah.
That'd be good. All right. I like it. I like it a lot. And then also at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, they debut the NXT Intercontinental Championship.
There you go.
Eric Young wins.
No,
in a
Roderick
match-
Strong wins.
Oh, okay. That's good too. Yeah, in a match against Eric Young.
There you go.
All right. Sounds good. Where's Eric Young been?
Yeah, he hasn't been on TV in a while.
What's up with that? Anyways, that's it. That's it for the show. If you're a patron and you're watching right now, stick around. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.